just recorded for 15 minutes just to realize that I made a mistake, which I did in the original thing too. So when you're trying to bone objects, it's really important that you have all the layers, right? So when I was starting this process, when I was making the other video, I realized that I'm going through it and I'm like, why can I not work with these objects? And I realized that I had to go back into Photoshop at the end of the previous project and take everything out of these groups, which I told you to meticulously prepare. So I'm sorry about that. So basically take everything out of the groups, right? You need all of these different elements that you can switch on and off when you need to, and you can link to them, and it'll become clear as we go along. We did that. We imported, I imported these objects again. Okay. So let's just select something which would be kind of fun to animate, right? Let's go through and we're going to rename these so we know what we're doing, right? So we're going to open up our rat arm. That's pretty good, right? This is pretty simple. This is the arm that goes up and it grabs the roof, okay? So I'm going to hide everything else in the scene, just using the solo mode here just to make things nice and clean, right? Going to hide those two. So now we have a nice clean place to work from. Now we're going to use a piece of software called Duik Angela for doing the boning and for the rigging. People have talked with me before about doing it in different ways. You know, you could just make this really simply. You could give yourself some access points, make your life a lot easier. I'll show you how to do that. Let's just switch on our elements here. What we're going to do is we're going to go and find our objects, and we're going to set we're going to hold down Y, and we're going to pin these objects to the thing. So first, let's give them names. Left up main arm, left forearm, it's the hand, that's fine. And then we have the rat, which is attached to the hand. So the rat's always going to move with the hand itself. The little rat, you know, kind of hand here, it's just going to move with the actual rat. So we're going to parent that to the hand, right? I'm going to parent the hand to the forearm. I'm going to parent the hand to the forearm. I'm going to parent the forearm to the main hand, right? And now when I rotate this, just as you expect, everything's rotating correctly. That's one way to do it. If I'm honest, I wish I'd done it this way, because the next thing, doing it the way in Duik, it's really flexible, there's no doubt. But I think for a multi-limbed character like this, I just bit off way too much, and I would say I must have added 3-4 days onto the process. So as I've said, you live and you learn. And I don't recommend doing it that. I would say when you need just simple animation, go with what you know, make your life easier. So After Effects Beta is beta software. So I think I'm using a piece of software here for inverse kinematics IK rigging. So I've got this free software called Angela, Duik Angela. I don't know why it's free. I think it's amazing that they do that. So I donated. I suggest you definitely do the same. Do a search for it. It's a French company. It's called Duik Angela. And you want to pull it up, and it's a little script that sits here nice and tidy. I pull it up and I put it into my project folder because, you know, I like to have a nice, efficient working way. So we've got our track that we saw before. We've got this one arm up in the corner. Why are we looking at one arm? Well, I'm going to show you. Okay, so first things first, we need to give these bones, right? We want to make it so if we move the hand, it moves the rest of the object, then it's going to be attached to the main, you know, character of the Swiss Army guy himself. So I watched a bunch of tutorials. I made so many mistakes that it's ridiculous. That's okay, you know, it happens. So I'm going to show you how I did it. It's the wrong way to do it. This is not the world's greatest tutorial. There are many wonderful tutorials for Duik, and you should definitely follow those and not do it how I did it. But anyway, here's how I did it. So I'm using the spline tool, the shape layer, and I'm creating a line which comes to kind of the points that I want to have the character articulated, right? So I've created my little shapes here, the center point of the hand. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit so you can see more. Okay, so we have our little shapes here. What we're going to do now is we're going to open up Duik Angela. We talked about that already, you know. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've created this shape. Make sure you keep the shape selected, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to create a arm. Okay. And that's going to be pretty simple. Okay. So we created our arm. And what we're going to notice, we don't see it because it's in the wrong position, because I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, we'll just go ahead and we'll proceed. So what we're going to do is we're going to find these points. That's the arm, that's the forearm. Let's put that into position. Okay, good. Then we're going to take the hand. We're going to put that up to the kind of the base of the hand. Then we're going to take our hand tip. I'm going to pop that up in here, right? Good. That's still in a bit weird position. I don't like it. So we're going to move this up here. Good. Hands in a good position. Let's hide that shape layer. So we don't need it, but don't delete it just in case everything goes wrong. All right. We've now created our kind of structure. So I'm going to select these objects. I'm going to rename my main objects to have the same name. Okay. Forearm. Let's call that here. Put that there, boom. Take our hand, we're going to take that, we're going to put that here. Schnook. Let's link it here. Right arm is going to get linked to the hand, right? So if I was to rotate that hand, the right arm moves with it, all right? That's the first step. So we did that. Now we're going to hit auto rig. Again, this is not how you're supposed to do it, but bear with me. Okay, so we're going to auto rig this. This is linking the bones together. It's going to create a little hand symbol for us. It's going to make it a lot easier when we're doing the actual main animation. Now you'll notice for now, if I rotate this, it's linking the bones. It's doing that all correctly, but it's not linked to the hand. You can automate this process. There's no doubt it's definitely better to do, but I'm just showing you how I did it. So I'm linking these. The hand's going to go to the hand. The right arm we're not going to touch. We're going to link to the forearm. When I select the arm, it's now linked to the bone. All right. I told you it's not the best way to do it. Like if I pull this too far, everything breaks apart. That's why the animation took me 3 days instead of 5 minutes. Well, maybe not 5 minutes, but you know. But it works for me. You learn your own way to do it. Do the tutorials properly. Okay. Obviously, this is just an arm, it's animating, but it's not linked to the body itself. So we're going to go here and we're going to reveal our hero body. Okay, that's our hero body. And he needs to have some kind of a bone as well, right? What I'm going to do here just for now is I'm going to, because I forgot to actually remove the legs from it earlier on, so I'm just going to take these out for now. Bum, bum, bum. Remove this leg. Do it again. Draw a mask around this leg. So this is left leg. Now obviously you're going to have to mask that. I would have to mask that more because the foot's going to have its own ankle and all this kind of stuff. But for now, we'll just go with it. Okay. But we don't need these for now. Anyway, so this is hero body. Just mask this out. So our hero body. I'm going to subtract that. So now we have our body, we have our legs, and it's all good. Okay, next step, we're going to create a spine to work with. Yeah, it doesn't need to be complicated. It's not curving in the middle, but we need to be able to give the body a connection to the arm and the head and the legs and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go over to our, into Duik. Going to click on hominoid. Okay, we're going to hold down the shift. We're going to hit spine. Okay, we don't need that many layers, so we don't really need to give it any layers on the neck. Yeah, we need the spine. So let's go. Okay, got our spine tip, we got our hips, all this kind of stuff. We're not going to be using all of these things, you know, but we can go ahead and do them anyway. So let's put the hips down about here. Let's link it up. zoom out a bit. We want to get our spine tip, so we got our spine here. Let's move this up a little bit. As I say, we're not going to be bending these. We're actually just going to, we could do it, you know, but I'm not patient enough to do it. Going to put our torso. Let's move our spine down a little bit. Torso, put it here. Spine tip's going to go here. Okay. So we're good. Spine tip, nah, you know what? Let's put the spine tip up there. Because you want to space these out enough so you can actually link, you know, give the arm connections a good connection, right? So let's move this even further. Spine goes here. That's good. Put the torso up there because we're not working with a conventional creature, right? Yeah. Let's put our spine tip up there. Boom. We're going to select all of those. We're going to pull up our Duik again. All right. I'm going to auto rig. So what I really like about this is it gives us little figures. It gives us things to work with. So if I go to my, for example, my hips, and I open the effects controls on this, I can physically see their hips, right? And you can move them up into a position which is a bit more matched to what you want to do. You know, you can do the same with all these other things. You can increase the size of your spine. You're not moving the actual rotation. You're just kind of giving it a better position. Let's take our torso, do the same thing again, scale that up. Put that kind of around here. And then you get your spine tip. We just leave that where it is, but we're going to scale it up. Just so it gives us a nice little kind of thing to work with. And there we go. And that's kind of all you need, right? Now I'm going to cheat. Because if I had to show you how to rig up an entire character, it would take as long as it took to do the entire project. And I don't have the patience. So there are a million tutorials. I'm going to link one actually I read this morning, or watched this morning. And I wish I watched it before I started the whole video because it would have made my life so much simpler. But anyway, as you can see, I made my rig. It was really, really hard to do. You know, everything's linked together. It's super fun though. You know, you can drag some elements here. I made a little center controller so I can just select this guy in the middle here, for example, and it did the animation. Let's just switch this off. Did the animation, made it all happen. We made our little guy do his dancing. He shoots back up again. Shall we have a quick look at it playing in real time? Sound effects, my friend. I love making sound effects. I worked with a guy called Carlos in Trade Republic, and he made sound effects to everything that he did. Big shout out to you, Carlos. I miss you, man. So here we go. Animation is complete. Now, I know it looks strange just seeing these bones doing their thing, but you know, you can see. It was fun. I did it incredibly the wrong way. The next time that I do a project like this, I'm going to do it a very, very different method. But as you can see, you're looking at bones, you're jumping around. It doesn't make a lot of sense for now, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide out the other layers and I'm going to come back and we'll see it playing back with the actual character itself. So we finished our bones, we rigged the character. Well, I did. Poorly, I might add. But I'm sure you'd be very good at it yourself. And really, if you learn anything from this and you get inspired and you do something yourself, please share it with me. I'd love to see it. Or comment anywhere you want to. Tell me I'm an idiot. I should have done it this way. It's my first time I've done a character animation in years, and it's certainly the first time I've done it using Duik. In the end, the results are what matters, right? You can make a million mistakes. You can go back and you can start again. It happens all the time, right? You know, but you don't let it get you down. You learn, you take from it, you use it in your next project. My next one's I think going to be a little bit simpler, because otherwise I'm just going to drive myself insane. And I don't want to drive myself insane. And it's going to be fun, you know? But so we're going to go through here. We're going to have a quick look at this scene and we're going to go from there. It's not actually rendering it for me. because my machine is too slow. You can see I added a lot of little extra tricks onto this to give it personality. I made his eyes blink. You know, he kind of looks at where we are, he follows around, he falls down, there's a bit of a shake, a bit of a vibrate. Make him have googly eyes, which is in honor of my good friend Goofin. And then he shoots his little, I didn't know how to get him up off the floor again, because I really wanted to do this kind of Wolverine kind of helicopter effect. So I shot a little rope out, bump, pulls him back up to the top of the screen. As you saw in the main video, he's actually floating, he's hanging off the top of the building. His arms pop back up again, and his blades start doing their thing. He lands. Happy little Swiss Army knife. He goes back to his original position of the artwork in the wall, because then I want to create a seamless transition. And let's go back to the actual plate itself. Let's go to shot 2. I'm going to switch on all the layers, and now we can see he's animated. Well, we can't see it because my machine's too crap to actually show it properly, but we can see he's animated, and he pops down, he shoots his little rope up. And thanks to my girlfriend for the suggestion, because I had him restricted to being inside the wall. And she said, why don't you make him hang off the top of the wall? And I thought that was such a fun idea. So I went ahead and did it. And he jumps up, he grabs the top of the wall. Well, you see it in the other shot more. He's up here doing his thing, hanging around. Fun.